It's called the Girls Education Mission. It's very, very small. It's a very, very small foundation. It's a family foundation. And that's just fine. I think once you discover how relatively easy it is to do something like this, it's what more of us should do. I was at a meeting of the seminar, which is this group of communications executives from the Global 200, by and large. And we meet once a year. And there were a group of us that were sort of, edging our way towards retirement. And there was some discussion about, geez, what do you do? And I said, that one of the things you can do is pick an area that needs help. Find a way to structure help for that area and set up a foundation and go do it. So our little foundation is tiny. Because of my work in Africa, both with Ford and with Coke, and my wife's has some connections to Africa as well. As we were visiting places, we discovered, at Coke I was worried about how do we get water in, how do we get clean water, how do we drill wells. But you start discovering that there are studies that show the most important factor in the success of a child, the strongest contributing factor to successful children is having a mother that reads. Because mothers that read to their children. Fathers that read have less impact because the father is usually not there to nurture as much and does not read to the children. So having a mother that reads educates children early, brings them into the idea of education, and expands their universe. So it's really important. So to have mothers that read, girls need to stay and get their education. One of the highest at-risk groups just about anywhere in the world is young girls, young students. In Africa, that tends to be more a financial than a religious or philosophical issue. So it's really, how do you bridge that gap? Most countries in Africa, we found most countries in the developing world offer a free education. But in order to get the free education in most countries, you need to pay some fees, you have to buy books, and you have to have a uniform. For some bizarre reason, we discovered that that almost always ends up being $100 to $150. It's not much money. But many families just don't even come close to having that money. So our foundation works with small groups of young girls. We have little groups of 5. And we're in 5 communities in Tanzania, Kenya, and we have one in Peru because we went to Peru and we discovered it was the same thing. And we don't want to get in. So the deal with the girls is we will help you earn the money to pay your school fees. We will then pay the school fees directly to the school, so we make sure that they're paid. And the girls can stay in school for another year. They can usually, if the school fees get paid, usually their families can support them enough with food and stuff, and they can get to where they're going. And so that's what we do. One young woman who we came to from involvement in someone else's foundation, we have a friend who has a foundation that allows you to, that connects one family with one child in the developing world and allows you to pay for their college education, which again is, tends to be like $500 a year. So there's a young woman who we supported through college and through law school in Tanzania, who's now a lawyer, community activist, and oversees our little foundation in Tanzania. And we help girls. The girls make the girls have to make artifacts. We then sell the artifacts. We don't sell them because we don't want to get into import-export stuff. They send us the artifacts. We label the artifacts with the name of the girl who made them. We have background information on that girl. We have some videos. And it's like a big Tupperware party. We have people who will take some of this stuff to Christmas bazaars. And so what happens is you can donate to the girl, and in return you can take a gift. And we've managed to keep somewhere between 25 and 40, depending on the year, girls in school for the last 6-7 years. It's been a while. So it's good. We've helped a couple kids. My daughter's doing Teach for America this year in San Antonio, inner city school in San Antonio, and she often says, I have 6 classes of 40 kids. How am I ever going to have any impact? Except there's this one girl I help do this, or one girl I help do that. And I finally said, that's it. I mean, don't let the forest so overwhelm you that you can't help a single tree. Find the little sapling and let it grow. I mean, that's what we're doing in Africa. I could never look at the vast need in Africa. If you did that, you'd stop. It's just overwhelming. But you can easily find 5 girls in one village who are willing to do some work, who want to finish their education. Because if they don't, they're going to end up they're going to be working as a household servant in somebody else's house without pay. They'll be, in effect, working for room and board, but it's more like being a slave. You have a place to sleep and eat, but you do everything that family wants whenever they want it. Or worse, you end up in the sex trade. There aren't that many options. You're not, if you can stay in school, you stay out of that. That lets you get to 16 or 18. You have a much better chance of making it in the world. So that's why we do it.